Lil Meech really set up his homie, 3 Luck, by tossing a gun on him during a traffic stop, and 50 Cent made sure the world saw it all. The incident left Big Meech furious. If you've been online or in the streets recently, you've definitely seen the viral clip. The body cam footage shows Lil Meech casually dropping a firearm, maybe even some drugs onto his right-hand man, 3 Luck. Now, 3 Luck isn't just anyone. He's a solid street figure who did 10 years behind bars and stayed loyal after his release. Even when Meech got caught at the airport saying, "That's not my bag," and people started calling him a snitch, 3 stuck by him. Fast forward to October 24th of last year, things took a serious turn. Lil Meech and 3 Luck were riding around like usual, with Meech driving and 3 knocked out in the passenger seat. What they didn't know was that the cops had already been watching Meech. He was the focus of an ongoing investigation. They ran the plates and saw who was behind the wheel. They moved in quickly. When the flashing lights hit, Meech started shifting, not just in his seat, but shifting the blame. He handed off his illegal items, firearms, maybe drugs, on to a sleeping 3 Luck. By the time the cops reached the car, 3 Luck woke up to a lap full of contraband and caught the entire charge. Imagine being him, groggy, unaware, and suddenly facing federal time. The cops separated them and began their search. At first, they only found the guns. And in Florida, that's not the worst charge, since gun laws aren't as strict as other places. But the situation got way worse when Meech started running his mouth. He told officers about the drugs and even told them where to find them. The cops weren't even looking for that until Meech pointed it out himself. After that, officers doubled back and did a second search. Sure enough, they found exactly what Meech had dumped on 3 Luck. Now the combo of drugs and guns turned. The whole case federal, and 3 Luck got locked up. It's the worst part. He didn't even know what Meech had said to the police. All he knew was that he woke up to a nightmare and Meech was looking for a real suspect. Still, 3 tried to hold it down. He assumed Meech had just panicked. He hoped for some loyalty in return and spent everything he had on legal fees. But Lil Meech didn't come through. Not a single dollar. Not from him, not from the BMF team. Nothing. And just when it seemed like there was a glimmer of hope, Meech called 3 from outside, sounding sorry. He promised to make it right, and said once the next season of BMF aired and he got paid, he'd break him off for taking the fall. So 3 Luck waited patiently, hoping Meech would be true to his word. But then the show got canceled. No new season, no paycheck, just silence. And that's when 3 Luck finally snapped. He jumped on Instagram and let it all out. K posted screenshots, voice messages, and angry captions. K said, "The reason I'm doing Fat Time is because of fake. Dude like Lil Meech lined me up." He even disrespected Big Meech, calling him out for raising someone disloyal. 3 claimed he lost years with his child and his business, all for someone who cared more about fame and pills. He called out other people to homies, who stayed quiet instead of standing up for him. To him, it was clear, clout had replaced loyalty. 3 Luck ended his rant by saying Meech never really planned to help him. His freedom was gone. So was the respect he once had for the BMF image Meech tried to push. And of course, 50 Cent poured gasoline on the fire. He hit Instagram and posted the footage with his own captions, making sure the world saw what happened. It wasn't just a petty jab, it was an explosion, and the chaos didn't stop there. Soon, accusations of snitching, betrayal, and Meech working with law enforcement started flying all over the internet. 50 single quotes as first move was subtle but slick. He reposted a pic of Michael Rainey Jr. from PowerBook 2, congratulating his success, then threw shade at Meech in the caption. "See what happens when you don't waste your money on Chrome Hearts jeans?" Then he went all in, post after post flooded his Instagram body cam clips, quotes from 3 Luck. Even audio of Meech apologizing and offering to pay him back. It was a full-on expose, and it had people questioning Meech's street credibility. This wasn't just random shade. This was a calculated digital attack. 50 Cent went full troll mode, mocking Lil Meech as a private school kid pretending to be a gangster. One of the captions that blew up online read, "How you gonna throw your strap and drugs on your man's lap while he sleeps? Like, here, this your stuff." LOL, that's classic 50. But it wasn't just for laughs. This is a strategy he's mastered. For over a decade, the 50s have been using memes and trolling as weapons to control the story, humiliate rivals, and spark chaos. Remember when Tekashi 6ix9ine snitched on everybody? 50 dragged him all over the internet too. Now he's flipping this same playbook on Lil Meech by comparing him to a known snitch and recycling old betrayal narratives. 50's tying Meech's name to disloyalty. This wasn't just a diss, was a deliberate takedown. 50 wanted fans doubting Meech, laughing at him, and questioning his street credibility. Judging by the reaction online, he definitely got what he wanted. But then 50 took it even further, and that's where things got serious. The next thing 50 posted didn't just poke fun, it lit a fuse within the entire Flannery family. As soon as he posted the body cam footage and started mocking Lil Meech, fans were asking one thing: where's Big Meech? He didn't do interviews or respond publicly. But what he did was loud enough. Pictures started popping up of Big Meech and Lil Meech together, even while the OG was still locked up. But the caption caught everyone's eye. "Nothing can stop us. We are all the way up." At first glance, it seemed like a message of support. But for people who understand how Big Meech operates, it sounded more like a warning. This wasn't just a father defending his son, it was the head of the BMF legacy reminding everyone they're still united. Behind the scenes, that message started hitting harder. Word in the industry was Big Meech sent a quiet but firm warning. 250 through mutual contacts. "Tell him to stop playing with my son, or else." That's not just a clapback. That's not just a clapback, that diplomacy in motion. And clearly, it had an effect. People close to both camps said the vibe turned cold quickly. Even fans could feel the energy shift. 50's tone started changing, and it became obvious this wasn't just about a clip or a troll post. It became a standoff between 50 Cent's digital empire and BMF's real legacy. What started as a viral moment now felt like something way deeper. Street loyalty versus social media warfare. And the stakes had nothing to do with followers. It was about legacy and respect. Let's not play dumb. This Lil Meech situation didn't start the beef, it just made it public. That car footage might have lit the fire, but the fuse had been burning for a while. If you've been paying attention, this was never just about a setup or a traffic stop. This was about control, about who really owns the BMF story. 'Cause let's be real, 50 didn't just produce the BMF show. He handpicked Lil Meech too. Play his father backed him with his own brand and reintroduced BMF to a new generation. For a while, everything looked good. The show was a hit. Meech became a household name. 50 scored another win with stars. But behind the camera, things were getting tense. Rumors started spreading that 50 and Big Meech were already at odds long before the footage with 3 Luck ever dropped. And it wasn't just about loyalty, it was about money. People were whispering about profits not being split, right? And creative control issues over how the Flannery legacy was portrayed. And that's where it really starts to fall apart. See, Big Meech isn't just a name or a character, he's the one who built BMF from the ground up. His story isn't just content for TV, it's his life. So when certain storylines or portrayals felt off, he wasn't happy. Sources say he didn't like the creative direction. He didn't like being excluded from major decisions. Okay, most of all, he didn't like seeing his name attached to something he didn't co-sign. That tension had been building, and now it's bursting. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is known for running things his way. Ruthless, calculated, always 2 steps ahead. Something doesn't fit his vision, he cuts it off, no questions asked. Just look at how many former collaborators he's fallen out with. So when the Lil Meech scandal happened, looked like the perfect excuse for 50 to distance himself from a partnership that was already crumbling, and it didn't stop there. 50 started sending shots not just at Lil Meech, but at Big Meech, too. He posted memes, shady captions, and even implied that Big Meech wasn't loyal. One post even hinted at a possible documentary exposing everything. Now that's not just trolling, that's a direct threat. And if 50 drops a documentary, you already know it's going to be raw. He's done it before with Supreme and other street legends, using unfiltered storytelling to air out everything. So if he's gearing up to do that with BMF, it's more than just beef, it's a war over who controls the truth. So what are we really watching here? It's not just a scandal, it's a battle for narrative power. On one side, you've got Big Meech trying to protect the name he built. On the other, 50 Cent, a master at flipping stories into headlines and profit. And stuck in the middle is Lil Meech trying to hold on to a career that's slipping. But this whole thing runs deeper. See, 50 and Big Meech haven't always seen eye to eye when it comes to who should be involved in BMF's storytelling. One big issue: Big Meech's rumored ties to Rick Ross, someone 50 has beefed with for over a decade. That didn't sit well with 50. He felt disrespected seeing Big Meech still rocking with folks from rival camps, while he was the one taking BMF mainstream. So while fans were locked into the show, behind closed doors there were already cracks in the foundation. It's quiet drama, shady deals, and now it's all coming out in the open for the world to see. Even the rumors of the show getting canceled hit different now. People are wondering, was it really about ratings? Or did 50 just decide to walk away from a partnership he no longer trusted? All signs point to the latter. That Lil Meech footage gave him the ammo to make a clean exit. But the damage was already done. What started as a powerful team-up to share the BMF legacy has turned into a messy fallout that's threatening to destroy the very legacy they were trying to preserve. And let's not forget, this thing is far from over. As of today, the tension between 50 and Big Meech is still heavy. 50's even gone as far as calling Big Meech a rat not once, but multiple times online. He even posted a rat meme with the caption, "I think I'm Big Meech." It's a wild shot. Disrespect like that doesn't get ignored. It gets remembered. Big Meech hasn't clapped back publicly, but he's been sending serious warnings through back channels. He's sticking to the death before dishonor code, moving in silence like the streets taught him. But make no mistake, he's not letting this slide. It's behind the scenes. He's letting 50 know this could go somewhere real ugly. And there's more than just pride on the line. We're talking about serious money and control over the BMF brand. Word is, Big Meech is now working on his own BMF film, and he's linking up with heavyweights like F. Gary Gray to make it happen. That alone is a serious move. If Meech drops his own version of the story, it could shake up everything. Ross is already supporting it, clowning the Stars show and calling this new version the real BMF. 50 didn't take that lightly. He clapped back at everyone Raw's young buck, anyone taking sides. At this point, this is more than beef, it's a high-stakes chess game, and no one's folding. What started with a simple ride in the car has turned into a war with legacy-level consequences.